Hello everyone, this is Andy from the Pixel Pub. I'm here to talk about my top 10 games. 1993. Okay, if you're new to this, I've been doing these videos. I started in 1988, and now we're up to 1993, mid-90s. Let's go. The top 10 games from each year, and my ground rules were console games, except I'm gonna break that rule in this video. So no arcade games, basically, is what that really means. And the release date had to be here in North America. Yeah. Let's go. Let's get number 10. Okay, number 10 is a game that I got with my Sega Genesis in 1993, and it's X-Men on the Sega Genesis. Now, is this a great game? No. Is this a very good game? Maybe not, but I played the snot out of it when I was a kid. I loved it. I loved the X-Men. I still love like the aesthetics of this game. I used to have a t-shirt that had like, it kind of looked like the start screen of this game, like when the logo comes up, you see all the X-Men running towards the screen, being cool. I got this game, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Captain America and the Avengers, and it was a fun birthday. I had a great time. This game has some sick-ass music. One of the songs in the Shi'ar Empire stage was my ringtone for my phone for years. I freaking love it. But yeah, making this list from 1993 felt like slim pickings for me. I don't know why. Usually when I got into the 90s, I was like, man, this is easy. There's tons of games. I had to make a big list and then cut it down to 10. So X-Men was questionable. I was like, it doesn't hold up that great. You know, I don't know if it was that good at the time, but I got mad nostalgia for it. Still got my original version. X-Men, number 10. Okay, number 9 is actually a game I don't have physically. I've only ever really played it through emulation, and nowadays it goes for about 50 bucks for a Super Nintendo game, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it, and that is Secret of Mana. Number 9. Second game in the Mana series. The first was, what was it? Seiken Densetsu on the Game Boy. It came over here as Final Fantasy Adventure. And this was the big one from the Super Nintendo. I really always enjoyed the very fun, colorful graphics of this game. The action-based battle system. There was one thing the battle system I didn't like too much when I played it recently, just because it feels so stilted. Like you have to wait for the 100% to go up before you attack, and you hit the button and you kind of brings back, and that stuff, it feels weird to me, but that doesn't hold it back from being on this list because it's still fun, still holds up to this day. It's still got great music, great graphics, and as I'm recording this, about a week from now, Visions of Mana will come out. This brand new Mana game coming out on PS5 and I think Xbox. I'm not sure. I'm getting the PS5 version. I'm so stoked for that game. So yeah, Secret of Mana, number 9. Okay, number 8 is a game that I do have physically, and that is Super Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo. What a cool idea. I remember I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up. My brother did. So didn't have access to this to play it at the time. But I just remember seeing commercials for it, and I thought it was the coolest fucking thing in the world, because you're taking these old, 8-bit Mario games and giving them a new coat of paint, and we get The Lost Levels, a Mario game that never came out over here. And when you're 8 years old, I'm like, oh my god, this is mind-blowing. Like that is super cool. And especially like if you look at this game, in 2024 and look at it compared to the NES games, you're like, well, it's not that big of a leap, but at the time it was huge. Like you go back to Mario 1 and look at those like little ass Mario sprites, and then you look at them what they look like on the Super Nintendo, and it's, I don't know, it's night and day. Yeah, it was just a fun idea. Still great games. They changed a little bit of the physics. That's okay. It still holds up. Super Mario Bros. 3 up here. Mwah. Beautiful. Lost Levels. You can go suck a d. Yeah, it's stupid hard. Super Mario Bros. 2. Great. Super Mario Bros. 1. Groundbreaking game. All in one little package. Super Mario All-Stars number 8. It's great. Okay, number 7 is the lone NES game on this list. It's a game that I rented a lot, and I remember my friend rented a lot, and he actually beat it while he rented it, and that's Kirby's Adventure, sequel to Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy. This is taken up to the next level. This was the Kirby game that introduced the copy ability, where they have it so if Kirby, eats certain enemies, he can take their power. It was brand new to this game. It was not in Kirby's Dream Land, and I thought it was super cool. There was even some kind of hard to find abilities that you could get, stuff like the UFO and the thing you get in the end. It's like a wand or something that shoots stars. It was just a fun little time, fun little platformer. I just love games like this that are, bright and colorful, fun little like overworlds to explore. Yeah, what a fun time. Kirby's Adventure. Okay, number 6 is also a fun time. It is Super Bomberman on the Super Nintendo. My brother had this, and he got, I guess every version came with the 4-player adapter. It came in this giant box and had the 4-player adapter. And we played it so much, 4-player, with whatever we can get to play with us, the multiplayer that is. And it was a damn good time. The single player is also a lot of fun. I played a lot of it. It's got great music. It's just a super good time. This and Super Bomberman 2 were kind of my only like real love for Bomberman. I didn't play them before that, and I didn't really play ones after that. I just only played 1 and 2, and they were great. They were great Bomberman games. Fun multiplayer, fun single player, Super Bomberman. Okay, next up, number 5. It's the lone Game Boy game on this list. I'll take it out the pack here. That is Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. It's a great game. I did not get this game in 1993. I actually got this after the fact. I think it was one of those things where they re-released it and put it back in stores a few years after it came out. They did that with the Final Fantasy games too. But I didn't get it right when it came out. I got it a few years later, and I just remember sitting on my couch next to a bright light, because that's what you had to do on the Game Boy, playing the snot out of this game. I thought it was pretty incredible that they had a game that felt comparable to A Link to the Past that you could play on the Game Boy and play it on the go. I'm getting in the car, I'm playing Zelda. Going to bed, I'm playing Zelda. Gotta go poop, I'm playing Zelda. But yeah, it was a super good time. I don't know if the Game Boy version itself holds up that much anymore. We got that remake on the Switch, so I recommend if you want to play Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, get that Switch version, because it is freaking great. And this version for the time was freaking great too. Okay, number 4 is where I'm going to break my rule for console games only. This is a PC game that came out in 1993. I got the Super Nintendo version here, which I don't think it came out in 1993, but I have something to show. It's Doom. We had various different PCs growing up when I was a kid. I didn't really play any games on that at all, except for I had a disc that had hundreds of shareware games on it, like hundreds. It was I don't know, it felt illegal, but it had the first episode of Doom on it, and I played the snot out of it. I remember there was one summer when I feel like every morning I just got up and played like the first 4 levels of Doom, and that was my routine, and I had a great time with it. I don't think at the time my brain could connect that this was a game I could buy, and there's more of it. I have since played through it, and I played through it on the Xbox back in the day. Got the Xbox 360 version and played it that way. Yeah, Doom was great. You don't need me to tell you how groundbreaking it was at the time. There's a reason why there was the term Doom clone, because people were trying to get that money that Doom made. But yeah, Doom. Okay, next up, number 3. Might be a controversial one, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where people stand on this anymore. It is Aladdin on the Super Nintendo. Now, I love the Super Nintendo version of Aladdin. Don't really like the Sega Genesis version of Aladdin. I think the Super Nintendo version is way, way better. I think people like the Sega Genesis version better just because it has the cell animation kind of straight from Disney. It has the Sega Genesis versions of the songs from the movie, all that stuff. But man, go back and play that prison level and tell me that that's any good. That's rough. But getting there is fun. But I'm not here to talk about the game. I'm here to talk about the Super Nintendo version, which was made by Capcom, and they freaking nailed it. Doesn't have a lot of the songs from the movie, but the original music is really, really good. It's a fun, just little platformer. It's like, I don't know, like an hour long, breezy, get in, get out. It has all the little stages from the different sets in the movie. Capcom could do no wrong back then. And with the Disney games, they freaking nailed it. I think this is like the last one that I could probably point to that was any good. Yeah, because they had all those ones on the NES, and then they had a couple of Mickey games on the Super Nintendo and this, and then like Virgin Interactive takes over, and that's why we get Aladdin on the Sega Genesis, and Jungle Book and Lion King and all that stuff, and this, But anyway, Aladdin on the Super Nintendo. If you haven't played it, play it, because it's great. It's great. It's number 3. Okay, number 2 is a fun, interesting game, Star Fox. Now this was mind-blowing for me as a young child playing this. My brother had it. He got it when it first came out, and I think he was just really blown away, or I think he was really sold on the graphics, because it was a polygonal game running on the Super Nintendo with a special FX chip right there. Yeah, mind-blowing at the time. Right now, if you go and look at it, it's just a bunch of triangles flying around, but at the time, I was like, man, that's a spaceship. and it's flying on this planet and shooting other spaceships. And it's great. You got a fun little cast of characters, Fox and Slippy Toad and Falco, and you know, there's a rabbit in there too. Can't remember his name. Yeah, they make their fun noises. It's got great music, great music. I was editing our video for GalaxyCon that we went to a few weeks ago, and I got deathly ill from afterwards. I think we all got a little bit sick. I was editing the video, and when I was looking through the vinyls that they had for video game soundtracks, they had one that's called, I think it was called Arwing Odyssey, and it didn't click with me that Arwing, it was referencing Star Fox, and it would have been a Star Fox soundtrack. Like it would have, I think it was like a cover band doing the Star Fox songs, and I would have gotten it if I just, for some reason, my mind didn't connect. I was just Arwing, like I just didn't. I know Star Fox. I've played most of the games. I know what Arwing is, but when I was looking through it with my eyeballs, I just did not connect it. And it wasn't until I was editing the video, I was like, holy shit, that was a Star Fox thing. And I think it was Star Fox 64, which is a different game, kind of a remake of this. But yeah, Star Fox, it's number 2. Does it hold up super well? For me, yes. I can go back and play it all day long. I think it's a hell of a time. But for, newer players, it might just look like, a big triangle mess. But anyway, I loved it. Okay, number 1 was an extremely easy pick. It's one of my favorite games of all time. When I made my Google Doc for my top 10 games in 1993, I just put number 1, blank. This is what I know exactly what it is. It is Mega Man X. I love this game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of those games, one of very few games. Probably I can count on like, I don't know, a hand and a half how many games I've replayed and replayed and replayed. Like, I don't replay a lot of games. So for this one, stuff like Symphony of the Night, Ocarina of Time, big deal. I love this game. I actually have the remake, Maverick Hunter X, on the PSP. It is still sealed. It was only $20, and I got it a few years ago. I think it still only goes for like $20. You can, brand new. I figured it was the only way anytime soon that I was going to be able to hold one of my favorite games sealed. So that's fun. But I originally played this game on the PC, actually. Like I said, my brother had the Super Nintendo. I was a big Mega Man fan on the NES. Like, I wanted all the games. I rented just about all of them. I think the only one I never really saw at the rental store was the first one. And I had a handful of them. I had like 2 or 3. And when Mega Man X was, I saw it in magazines. I was like, that looks freaking amazing. Like, it's still, thinking about this game still captures my imagination of, like, games or what games could be at that time. Just like, you can get upgrades. Like, you can make your Mega Buster better. You can get the boots thing, make you dash. You can get the armor, makes your health go down less when you get hit. All that stuff just blew me away. I was like, man. And you can still do the stuff with getting the boss's weapons and using it on other bosses. And if you get the Mega Buster upgrade, you can power those up too. You can do the Mega Buster version of those weapons, and it just blew my mind. I played this on the PC. I actually got a PC copy. I begged my mom for it at KB Toys. It came with a controller, and we came home, and it would not work on our PC. And I was devastated. I believe I was bawling my eyes out. And I remember it was the same day that Cartoon Network put out a new version of Johnny Quest. It was like the debut episode or something, and it was just, for some reason, that just sticks. Those 2 days, or that day, just sticks out in my mind. These two events happened, and we actually, at our house, we had different computers coming in fairly regularly, just because our the job that my parents worked at, they would frequently just say, "Hey, we're selling these computers. Anybody want them for a steep discount?" And my parents would get them occasionally and come and replace the old one and move on. Eventually, we did get a computer that was that could run it. I played the sound of it, beat it. I was so in love. It is the height of, I think, of the Mega Man X series for me. We have 2 and 3 also, but they just never captured that magic again until maybe Mega Man X4, which I got on the PlayStation 1. When I first got my PlayStation 1, I was like, I gotta have a Mega Man X. Easy easy number one for me is Mega Man X. Okay, that's been my top 10 games of 1993. Please leave in the comments your top 10 games, top 5, number 1, whatever you want to talk about. Let's talk about it. I've been Andy from the Pixel Pub. Please like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Peace out.